Open world games require a lot of time and energy from their players, so it's very important that they kick off with an exciting starting area so players will have investment to get through the rest of the journey. Often acting as extended tutorials wrapped up in the introduction of the story, a great starting area can be the decider for a gamer on the fence about persevering. Some games have been able to deliver a marvelous starting area that will provide the necessary backdrop to the story and show players the kind of gameplay that awaits them in such an extensive world. I'm Jess from WhatCulture, and here are the 10 best starting areas in open world video games. Number 10. Sleeping Dogs, North Point. The detailed depiction of Hong Kong in Sleeping Dogs is first presented to players when protagonist Wei Shen attempts to infiltrate the Sun On Yi in North Point. Shen uses his childhood friend Jackie Ma to get involved with the Water Street gang run by Winston Chu, a faction within the triad that controls the neighborhood, which becomes the player's first explorable area in the game. Operating out of Chu's mother's restaurant, the Golden Koi, the undercover cop gradually becomes trusted by the gang ahead of an explosive and shocking conclusion to the opening act. Players can find their way around the night market, their own apartment, and Club Bam Bam, where Shen can impress everybody with his karaoke ability. North Point is only the start of the very faithful depiction of Hong Kong throughout the game, which was released in 2014 and is easily one of the most beloved open-world experiences of the prior decade. A long-anticipated sequel is yet to be picked up, despite the title's cult favorite status, but thankfully Sleeping Dogs is a very replayable game in and of itself. Number 9. Far Cry 4, Bannerpur. Far Cry 4 begins in the village of Bannerpur, the home of the Golden Path Rebellion, which shows how the picturesque Himalayan country of Kyrat has fallen into disarray under the leadership of pagan Min. Players begin the game trying to defend against the Kirati forces being controlled by Min. Bannerpur also acts as the first time where protagonist AJ meets many of the game's most important characters, including Amita and Sabal, who are having a philosophical debate over the future of Kyrat whilst trying to front a revolution at the same time. Players also get to meet Bardra, a girl who is believed to be the Taran Matara, which is the reincarnation of the goddess Kyra. The town is filled with characters and is much livelier than many of the other settlements in Far Cry 4, which makes it a memorable starting area in the fictional Himalayan nation. The game itself is arguably the best in the series, as your protagonist's pursuit to scatter his late mother's ashes becomes far more difficult than he could ever have imagined. Number 8. Horizon Zero Dawn, The Embrace. Aloy's search for truth begins in the Embrace, a valley that will equip you with the skills and knowledge you're gonna need to know before you head out into the larger open world. In the shadow of All Mother Mountain, the area is home to the Nora tribe, a peaceful but secluded community that has ostracized Aloy and her guardian Rost, with whom she learns to hunt and survive within the Embrace. The perimeter of the region is covered by 3 gates, which allows players to explore the small portion of the Horizon Zero Dawn map. The area shows how the old world has gone to ruin, with remnants of the past appearing in the form of various robots who roam the wild. Of course, she's eventually forced to leave her home as the story begins to unfold and the secrets of the lost world reveal themselves through an enrapturing story. The Embrace provides a slow but thoughtful introduction to the game that garnered a great deal of critical acclaim, leading to a successful sequel being released in 2022 in Horizon Forbidden West. Number 7. Assassin's Creed 2, Florence. The reconstructed city of Renaissance-era Florence provides a perfect backdrop as Ezio Auditore da Firenze attempts to avenge his family's death at the hands of the cruel Templar Order. The seminal 2009 open-world sequel went above and beyond the original installment of the game, which helped Ezio become one of the most iconic characters in modern gaming. Florence is captured in its 15th century glory perfectly, from its landmarks to its scalable buildings, all of which sets the stage for the incredible story to unfold. The openness of the first act makes for a great tutorial of sorts for the whole game, and the rest of the series that would ensue in Brotherhood, Revelations, and beyond. As the story unfolds, Ezio will travel to other Italian cities, such as Forlì, Venice, and even Vatican City, but Florence is by far the most detailed and fun to explore in the game. The classic still holds up to this day, and it's still one of the best game worlds ever realized in a video game, and that becomes immediately apparent as soon as you enter Florence. Number 6. Skyrim, Whiterun Hold. The first couple of hours that Skyrim offers should be enough to enthrall any gamer, as players pass through Helgen, Riverwood, and Whiterun on their way to becoming Dragonborn. Starting the game as a prisoner on your way to be executed at Helgen by Imperial forces, the World Eater Alduin promptly attacks, leading to a frantic escape from the chaos. Immediately afterward, you can pretty much head in any direction in Skyrim, but it's massively recommended you follow the main story so you can get a handle on the gameplay and the narrative. Advancing through the quaint town of Riverwood on the way to the city of Whiterun, players will encounter a number of eclectic characters and embark on a number of side quests that will hook them right in. After awakening the Dragonborn power after slaying, yes, a dragon, the world opens up to the player, who can begin exploring the northern realm of Tamriel. It's a pretty obvious thing to say, but Skyrim is of course a must-play for any lover of open world games, and you know this right from the outset. Number 5. Ghost of Tsushima, Izuhara. The first region players get to explore in Tsushima is Izuhara on the south of the island, which shows the land's beauty that has been greatly disrupted by the Mongolian invasion. Jin Sakai introduces himself to worshippers at the Golden Temple, stops by the strangely calm Hiroshi Springs for a spa session, and explores the scenic coastline at Azamo Bay. As lovely as this sounds, the beauty and serenity of the natural beauty of the land massively contrasts with the struggles of each of the characters you'll meet on your journey. He gathers support from Lady Masako and Sensei Ishikawa, who've both endured harrowing experiences that have been inflicted upon them by the invaders, led by Khotan Khan, the grandson of Genghis. There have been few games that have been able to create a world that's so colourful and vibrant, but also realistic in its depiction of a historical setting. The first region of Izuhara is only the beginning for players who get to explore the lush landscape of Tsushima, whilst also fighting for its safety. Just make sure you complete all the Inari shrines so you get as much Fox content as possible. Number 4. Borderlands, Firestone. Firestone shows what awaits in the wacky world of Borderlands, with a number of quests and bosses for players to blast their way through before exploring more of Pandora. After Mordecai, Roland, Lilith, and/or Brick get off Marcus's bus, they're immediately put to work helping the dwindling town fight back against the various threats that the arid Badlands has to offer. Players will get their first meeting with the talkative Claptrap, will be able to stop by and see the scalpel-happy Dr. Zed, and you'll be able to go and say hi to TK Baha. The gameplay basics are easily picked up through the various missions that are set up in and around Firestone, which will help new players become accustomed to the Borderlands style very quickly. Pandora becomes far wilder from its humble beginnings of Firestone, but the starting location will bring a sense of comfort to returning players who get to experience the looter-shooter all over again. The simplicity and accessibility of Borderlands is part of why it got so popular in the first place, and this starting area just oozes the wit and charm that every player loves to see in a Borderlands game. Number 3. Bully, Bulworth Academy. Problem student Jimmy Hopkins finds himself enrolled in Bulworth Academy, a cruel institution that forces him to navigate his way through the various cliques in the midst of an ongoing power struggle. Whilst doing normal missions and side quests, players will also have to attend classes where they learn various subjects like English, maths, chemistry, and art. On the campus, there are various buildings to run around, such as both the boys' and girls' dorms, although don't get caught in the latter being a creep, the library, a gymnasium with a full-length football field out the back, and an observatory where all the nerds hang out. Jimmy can talk to, romance, help, or beat up whoever he pleases as he attempts to prove he's the toughest guy on campus. Just be sure not to fight the prefects, as they always get their man, no matter how punchable and overgrown they may be. The grounds of the boarding school are quite a lot to get through in and of itself before players are allowed to explore the rest of the town, which makes it a supremely vast open world experience for a game released in 2006. Number 2. Fallout 3, Vault 101. Vault 101 provides Fallout fans a glimpse of what life was like underground as their character rapidly ages, from a newborn to a young adult, before having to escape into the ruins of Washington, D.C. Players unfortunately witness their mother die during birth, which leaves the father James to raise the little Vaultling through to adulthood, which goes surprisingly well for a post-apocalyptic game. Through a number of short sequences, you'll basically watch your character pick up some skills, go through infancy, attend school, and even have an important birthday. However, the game takes a turn when your father decides to leave home to explore the wasteland, as Vault 101 turns into a much less pleasant place. Of course, this leads to the player leaving for the wasteland too, which is a substantially worse existence as the Wanda soon comes to realize. It may even leave the protagonist feeling like their father has been a tad selfish by leaving and upending the lives of everyone inside the vault. Nonetheless, this beginning in the vault is a really unusual way of doing a tutorial that absolutely fits within the context of the world of Fallout. Number 1. The Witcher 3, White Orchard. For many gamers, The Witcher 3 will be their first Witcher game experience, as it became one of the most popular games of the past decade. Some may not have known about Geralt's story before that point, but that doesn't really matter as it opens with the White Wolf searching for his beloved Yennefer. This brings Geralt to White Orchard, a cluster of villages that's been caught up in the war between Nilfgaard and the Northern Realms. The Witcher is soon tasked with killing a griffin in return for information on Yen's whereabouts, which gives players a glimpse at what to expect from the game. It's undoubtedly a tricky game to start with, especially for players who aren't that used to having so much freedom in how they approach an open world game. Other than fighting the griffin, players are able to assist the locals and fulfill other contracts, even helping an old lady retrieve her pan from a deceased soldier. CD Projekt Red honestly couldn't have done a better job introducing players to The Witcher 3 with White Orchard. It has all of its wit, charm, and turbulent war-torn style. That's the end of our list, but let me know down in that comment box if you reckon we missed any excellent starting areas in open world games. As always, I've been Jess from WhatCulture. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like, you can come say hi to me on my Twitter account where I'm @JessMcDonnell, but make sure you stay tuned to us here for plenty more gaming goodness.